Buonasera. Buon pomeriggio, ragazzi. Avete visto? Ho deciso di mettere la sigla degli special events per questa diretta perché è un talk show dedicato, in questo caso, per decisione recentissima, dedicato alla finalmente in ritardo discussioni su Hogwarts Legacy. Ne abbiamo già affrontato una chiacchiera quando fu annunciato all'interno della prima presentazione, quindi abbiamo già avuto un primo impatto, un primo approfondimento a caldo. E questo non sarà a freddo, perché il lungo e completo showcase che hanno presentato ormai un mese fa, io non l'ho visto. E io ieri ho avuto uno sfogo febbrile, completamente casuale, può essere perché ho tirato la corda come è successo alla Milan Games Week, però lì c'era una giustificazione più concreta, ok? Erano praticamente Luca, Milan Games Week, senza mai una pausa, 18 ore al giorno lì a ammazzarsi, senza mai fermarsi un secondo, che il corpo reagisca con un minimo di "oh, ha senso". Ieri, invece, a meno che non mi sia preso un colpo di freddo, però fortunatamente conosco per ora nella crescita è stato sempre il mio punto debole, la gola. Se io ho mal di gola, vi ricordate cosa vi ho fatto notare 2 live fa più o meno, se seguite tutto quello che faccio? Ho detto, ragazzi, non mi piace sta tosse, non dovrebbe esserci. 9 ore dopo, febbre istantanea. Negli ultimi 5 anni, esclusi gli ultimi 2, tra dicembre e gennaio ho sempre preso 2-3 giorni di malessere. Nonostante il mio cercare di prevenire non con allopatia preventiva, ma con la sciarpetta, sto attento, so che se mi viene il mal di gola il corpo reagisce subito cercando di stroncarmi. E invece dicembre e gennaio c'è sempre quel momento di... E io pensavo che quest'anno non sarebbe successo perché ho detto, beh, oh, senti, la Milan Games Week e Luca vicine sono state un'esagerazione in quel modo, con quell'afflusso, eccetera, eccetera, eccetera. E invece, porca, è la vecchiaia, può essere la vecchiaia, eh? E poi c'è stata quella tosse, esatto, in cui ero guarito dal Covid, ma la tosse mi è durata 3 mesi. Un incubo, un incubo. Detto ciò, io lo sto facendo per chiacchierare e scaldarci un po' nella serata, con l'Hype Train che è arrivato a livello 7. Io devo ringraziarvi uno ad uno adesso, ragazzi. Grazie. Con però la mia intenzione di scaldarci per oggi parlare meno, perché sicuramente metterò in pausa molto spesso e voglio al 100% darvi un approfondimento per quanto alla cieca, cioè io voglio reagire, non ho visto il gameplay nuovo, il nuovo gameplay non l'ho visto, non l'ho assolutamente visto. Lo vediamo insieme, come avvenne per quella sfortunata sequenza di eventi che mi portò a non poter giocare Wild Hearts. Io partecipai all'anteprima, invitato come appunto giornalista e media, no? Per Wild Hearts, e il gioco in alfa non funzionava. A tot hardware, tra cui il mio. Vi ricordate? Non so quanti c'erano. C'era il Discord che diceva a chi aveva questo problema: mi dispiace ragazzi, ma non è risolvibile nel tempo dell'anteprima, ci lavoreremo ovviamente per la prossima o per la release. E quindi reagimmo al gameplay di qualcun altro. Detto ciò, oggi faremo lo stesso senza che sia un press tour. Cioè, questa è una presentazione ufficiale del titolo, dura però una piena mezz'ora e quindi coprirà tranquillamente tutto il tempo del talk show. Sono 2, dici Caporosso, ben venga, entrambi da mezz'ora o uno è più sottile e uno è più ridotto? Uno da 46 e l'altro da 34, quindi dovrò stare attento alla quantità di pausa che farò. Allora, diciamo che distinto mi piacerebbe molto discutere anche di quello che sta succedendo a Ubisoft. Un giorno in SNM 4.0 avremo qualche effigie delle news live, ok? Perché ci sarebbe parecchio da dire. Non di meno, io sono pronto. Livello 8 dell'F-Train. Grazie, grazie, grazie. Spero che live come questa, adesso sicuramente introdotte con esagerata prolissità, mi sono un pochino rilassato. Sono giornate di un teso che non avete idea. E non è giusto trasmettere questa tensione poi nel contenuto. Fake Michael, welcome to the Covenant. Abbiamo fatto 2 chiacchiere più umane, ho chiesto la tisana. A proposito di autofuoco, il ritorno delle figures? Ci sarà. ci sarà. Il ritorno delle figures ci sarà in SNM 4.0. Voglio che torni perché sarà il reset di tante cose. Quanto sono carico di SNM 4.0 non è concepibile. Per me è anche di vita un momento di rinascita. Molto importante. Devo solo superare gli ultimi grossi ostacoli. Tra cui l'effigie di Ragnarok. Quello è un brutto ostacolo in quello che sta succedendo intorno a me. Ma ci tengo troppo. E lì sì che ci sarà sostanza. Questo primo gameplay showcase è di 46 minuti. Io mi sentirò libero di fare pause. Cioè, considerate questo. Se puta caso, nelle mie analisi, nelle mie reazioni, perché sono blind, ok? Cioè, potete recuperarvi il mio vecchio talk su Hogwarts, quando l'abbiamo visto alla presentazione, ma ora sono completamente blind del resto. E un pochino più a destra, volete che proprio lasci lo schermo pulito? E quindi ci tengo alla qualità. Ok? Quindi per cui, se nelle mie pause, nelle mie riflessioni, nelle mie analisi, si va a superare una certa ora, io interrompo il talk e diventa parte 1 di 2. Cioè non andrò a stringere tagliando, non farò cut content di un'analisi. Ok? Grazie dell'hype di livello 8. Io andrei. Ah, giusto, faccio una dovuta premessa. Ho letto tutti i libri di Harry Potter all'epoca, in tempo reale, cioè non i primi in tempo reale, ma credo che fosse uscito il quarto, sì, quando ho cominciato a leggere, poi li ho letti in tempo reale. Non sono completamente immerso e innamorato di Harry Potter, non sono appassionato di Harry Potter, quindi non avrò i brividi per la contestualizzazione dell'ambiente, non andrò ad emozionarmi in nome del fatto che giocherò questo, non di meno conosco ciò di cui si parla. Che figo! Okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Hogwarts Legacy gameplay stream. I'm Chandler Wood, Community Manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into showing you the game and gameplay, I have a few wonderful guests that I need to introduce you to. First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. He's the local Merlin conspiracy theorist.
Guilty as charged, yes.
One half of Expecto Go,
Yeah.
James Whitehead.
Thanks, Chandler. Yes, I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And I am one half of Expecto Go, the other half, my wife Sue, represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for inviting me. I cannot wait to go over this gameplay. I just got to say that.
Ok, grazie Santo Gary o Jerry, hai fatto un dono gigantesco alla community questo mese. Santo vero, dicono in chat. Tra l'altro un ragazzo che non ha ricevuto il dono. Benvenuti a tutti, grazie del supporto gigantesco.
Welcome, thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together, the magic of Hogwarts Legacy. Game director, Alan Tu.
Hello, everyone.
And senior environment artist and Hogwarts expert, Boston Madsen. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules right now to sit down with us to help us show everybody gameplay. So what we're gonna be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy, and you have to create yourself when you get into to get into Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to Hogwarts. So we're going to show you that character creator. Then we're going to dive into a tour of Hogwarts, and it's just a small tour of Hogwarts, right? Because Hogwarts is huge.
Leo,
Hogwarts is
grazie.
really big.
Benvenuti.
So we're going to be showing you a little bit, but it's still a lot.
Vi renderò orgogliosi.
So And finally, ending up with combat. A little taste of combat, a little taste of how all that works.
Let's go. Let's
just
go.
a little taste, yeah. So we're excited to get there. But again, first and foremost, we need to get into this character creator. And James, with you here, we wanted to let you create this character. So Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today, is going to be handing you the controller.
Oh my gosh. All right, I won't break anything. All right, so what are we looking at right here on this screen?
These are your presets. So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can choose for your character that just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man.
And then once you're in that ballpark, all the other tabs let you dial that in, be exactly who you want to be. It's our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves to the school for the very first time, that they feel like they have the options in order to represent who they are and essentially bring themselves to Hogwarts or whatever character they want to bring to Hogwarts.
Oh my God, and options galore. Do you mind if I try to put myself in here right quick?
This is all about you today.
Okay, all right. So, okay, yeah, that's me. We're here, that's me right there. All right, so that's step one.
We're pretty close, but let's look at everything here. You
let's
know,
go over
play
here.
around with some.
Esatto, let's look at everything. Facci vedere la personalizzazione, che mi è venuto in mente poi un concetto da mostrarvi e da ricordarvi se avete vissuto la quinta generazione. Adesso ne parliamo.
These options, like really.
All right, so what are we looking at with this option over here with the tab? I see face stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of the different faces that you saw in the previous screen, all those faces are
Oh, la tisana, l'energia e una barretta di super energia. Grazie. Yes.
choices that you have here. So you can...
Sì, esatto, Sir Crow. In realtà è un'ottima domanda. Fateci vedere se posso farlo sovrappeso. Non so se... a vedere il menu dei tab, il body type, non so se c'è. Però... cioè, quello sarebbe i capelli, segni speciali, occhi e casata. Quindi secondo me il corpo sarà abbastanza unico. Infatti, esatto.
Now you're just kind of getting into the details in your face shape, in your skin color. And then because we knew a lot of people going right in are going to want it right away, even though it's an option later in the game, you can collect different types of glasses, put them on later. We give you some options right up front if you want to have glasses for your character.
Oh man, oh my gosh, look at this structure.
Io lo capisco, in realtà a me piace un botto poter scegliere il body type. Allora, io non credo di aver visto in titoli recenti un editor bello, avanzato, completo e sorprendente, sconvolgente nella profondità e nelle scelte possibili come in Dragon's Dogma! Bravi! Subito! Mamma mia! Il primo, esattamente. Dragon's Dogma, ragazzi. Dragon's Dogma aveva un editor incredibile e vorrei tanto vedere ripresa quel tipo di evoluzione della personalizzazione di un personaggio. Però posso capire che cambiare anche proprio altezza e larghezza di un corpo è difficile poi da gestire in titoli che hanno magari un certo tipo di cutscene, un certo tipo di interazioni, mount e così via. Vediamo. Cioè, qui mi sembra evidente che non ci sia, per vediamo intendo dire andiamo avanti e vediamo che cosa offre la personalizzazione.
With this. Wow, you guys thought of guys, I like that. I don't think my face.
Siete sicuri di voler... L'ha detto solo un ragazzo, ma non si sa mai. Non so se posso modificare la dimensione dei sottotitoli, ragazzi. Opzioni. Ma questa roba? Fico. Fico. Che figata! C'è da sempre, mai usata. Stupendo. Meraviglioso. Ci piace. Figo. Troppo piccoli? Facciamo 75, Non voglio che qualcuno che magari guarda da cellulare abbia la vista distrutta. Ok. La velocità quindi ha anche opzioni più complete. Ma che bello, complimenti. Opacità dello sfondo. Bello. Figo, figo, figo. No, no, il font va bene, dai, dai, dai.
Face is that skinny, but I think we'll go that. I think we'll go that route. And down here is this.
Those are your glasses
This
there.
gla-
Yeah.
Oh, so we started. We could go Harry Potter. Off the jump. Oh man! And this is just some of the options, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so through the
moving
course of the
forward?
game, there's a lot of different options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character, there's lots of different classes. There's even masks. There's all kinds of things over the course of the game.
I like how it's all Victorian era, though.
Yeah,
Like,
right
it's
up front.
very
Such
authentic.
a good call. Such a good call. Oh my gosh! All right, so now, we can go fleek on this one with the hair. Oh.
I spend a lot of time here.
Alla fine è un editor sufficiente, ma non è un grande editor questo, eh? Nel senso, da una parte non vogliono darti la libertà di creare dei mostri, comprensibile. Dall'altra potevano fare una cosa alla Dragon Age Inquisition e offrirti comunque la possibilità di muovere i tratti somatici entro un range decente di estetica e naturalezza.
Here, just like dreaming about.
Vabbè, è ovvio che questi adesso in live ufficiale si esalteranno per qualunque cosa, ragazzi. Cioè, queste sono presentazioni PR. Nessuno dirà, insomma, è un editor abbastanza scarno. No. Però i capelli sono
My
tanti.
different characters. and what
Oh
they're gonna
my
be like.
gosh, the pony. The thing I'm always amazed by whenever I see any aspects of Hogwarts Legacy's character creator is just the texture. And like you even adding the bounce with the hair moving around. That kind of looks like Hermione a little bit. I'm not even gonna just like fret. I'm not fretting. And we can just go. Can I go like Tonks purple or green a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yo, this is so cool. Oh, I like that. That is cute. Oh, okay, so little behind the scenes. I used to have this type of hair like way back, but
was it purple?
I wanted silver tips. So
Si muove il personaggio. Stai calmo. Cioè, ho capito, ma anche meno. Carino, che potrà fare i rasta rosa, va bene, però meno.
oh, that was the closest I got to.
Sì, esatto, Zelo Hop! Cioè, no, e dai, mi torna il mal di gola.
But oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Oh, ragazzi, mi sto imbarazzando. Non voglio fare meme, non voglio essere irrispettoso, ma no, cioè, minchia, veramente, manco gli influencer, cioè.
So you literally can bring yourself. Like it's a myriad of textures and different hairstyles here. All right, so now.
Ma poi,
again,
scusate,
over here.
se posso essere cagacazzi, fa parte anche del mio lavoro essere cagacazzi, perché il colore dei capelli, che non è assolutamente uno spettro da bianco a nero, è su una barra? Cioè, se devo sgamare dov'è il viola e dov'è il giallo, lo cerco a cazzo di cane, immaginando dove l'hanno selezionato? Ma mettimi un RGB, cioè, a sto punto mi metti una sfera, un cerchio RGB e via. No, guarda, allora, fai questa linea, lì c'è il marrone e là c'è il rosa, capito?
Texture. Play around with some of the.
These are more subtle options. We've
Okay.
got freckles, moles, different things like when it comes to your complexion, like darker eyes, maybe like some shading on the cheeks.
Oh man, you guys literally thought of everything with this.
I do have a bit of fun with that. And then the scars are one of those options where, Harry had his own unique scar, but you can come in with.
Questo è un linguaggio fatto per non giocatori, cioè è ovvio che Hogwarts Legacy punta tanto a un pubblico che videogiocatore comunque non lo è. Quindi, oh mio Dio, avete pensato a tutto, anche la cicatrice. Cioè, è bello che ci possa essere in Harry Potter, quindi carino, ma in generale è una feature base del genere. Bello che ci sia questo genere fatto così bene in Harry Potter.
Different
Yours.
scar options.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. I didn't even see that.
Che poi è bello che sono cicatrici non tutte
Oh, those are my
banalissime,
favorite.
alcune potrebbero essere magiche.
Eyebrow scars, love those.
Yeah, you look kind
It's
of
a
like,
classic.
yeah, you look kind of just like tough. But anyway, so now we're over here. Oh man, you guys, this is so sick.
Again, getting more subtle here, you know, really like dialing in that face to really get your.
I don't know how revealing I want to be with my facial features now. Just like, yeah, I kind of have a big face. Yeah, my eyebrows kind of sit kind of low. But I mean, literally, you have so many options just starting the game. I feel like I'm going to be here like forever.
You and me both.
And then this final tab here, this is where you kind of bring your whole character together. You know, this is where you finalize everything. You're not choosing your house here.
Okay.
That's not yet.
That was a theory.
But you know, here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or a feminine voice, and then even within that, changing your pitch,
with
the pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider, but
Yeah.
but you can hear it,
Concerned about.
That was quite something.
and so you can kind of make out the differences. But yeah, you choose which kind of voice that you want.
Carino il pitch. Carino il pitch.
I'll be able to help.
You'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal because
Okay.
Andrew's going to be taking us through some of the experiences with combat later.
And we can talk a little more about difficulty, yeah, with combat and how that plays in.
That is a
But I
big
think
question.
the important thing here is like if for people who aren't gamers especially,
Right.
story mode is a way to get into this without being worried about like, oh, do I need to be good at games? Like, no, just enjoy this game. It's,
And I will put expecto and then go. We're good. We're good. Awesome.
and then whether you want to be witch or wizard.
Amazing.
What'd you think, character creator? We're good?
I'm good. Let's explore Hogwarts and let's get into some combat.
All right. Through the magic of using a dev kit, we're going to be loading up a save a little later in so that we can show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. All right, Andrew's got some gameplay pulled up for us here. We are starting out, James, there.
Ecco, qui me ne approfitto per farvi notare quel pensiero che ho avuto prima. Vi ricordate, io stavo per fare un complimento nei confronti di quello che generalmente sono i tie-in, però i tie-in da una parte sono un genere quasi morto, perché ormai ci sono titoli ispirati a un determinato brand, ma originali nel contesto. Non di meno, stavo per dire complimenti comunque per la definizione grafica di questa presentazione. Volevo, ci accontentiamo, farvi notare una cosa, farvi ricordare una cosa. I titoli di Harry Potter, ok? I titoli di Harry Potter, i videogiochi, sono sempre stati particolari in un dettaglio sorprendentemente strano per quello che era in genere questo tipo di operazioni all'epoca di quinta e sesta generazione, ok? Quindi PlayStation, Nintendo 64 e poi PlayStation 2, Xbox, eccetera, eccetera, eccetera. Non mi riferisco all'ambientazione, neanche al combat. Ha qualcosa di leggermente più effimero, ma non di meno sorprendente per quello che è un videogioco, ossia la grafica. La grafica dei titoli di Harry Potter è sempre stata boia, forte. Cioè, mi ricordo di aver giocato all'epoca alle release su PlayStation 2 soprattutto, perché al PlayStation 1 ancora non ero in lettura di Harry Potter, ma erano veramente, veramente fighe come impatti visivi. Ed era super strano, era questo esatto, questo era quello infatti l'ho preso per PlayStation 2 apposta. E anche su PS1 aveva una definizione dei dettagli. Porca miseria! Sorprendente! Volevo ricordarvi di questo dettaglio, perché comunque non è affatto naturale, ok? Non tutti sono GoldenEye, ok?
There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the account linking.
Thank you. I do look good. And this is our first look at the Hufflepuff common room, I'm assuming. I mean, dorm room.
The dorm room.
Yeah. This is awesome. But Alan, what are we seeing right here with the UI? Because this is our first look.
Yeah. So right now, we know there's been a lot of questions about
I quadri.
about the HUD because this is the first time we're showing it. So kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond. So those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts, or that we just want on the controller at all times. And Revello is one of those. That's left on the D-pad.
Sarà anche un titolo dedicato in particolar modo alla massa, ma questa presentazione è molto tecnica e figa. Cioè io non mi sarei aspettato, nonostante la lunghezza del video, un approfondimento così netto dell'HUD a schermo. Sono contento. Cioè, finché guardiamo in basso a destra gli incantesimi slottabili, è qualcosa di molto riconoscibile. Molto meno era, appunto, la piramide con l'occhio, il triangolo con l'occhio e la griglia a destra. Quindi, ok, mi sembra evidente che adesso ci andrà a spiegare che gli incantesimi obbligatori sono quelli che servono per la trama, per certi contesti, insomma, la mobility, il traversing, insomma, cose che servono all'esperienza anche narrativa del gioco. Però, vediamo un po'.
On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there. You know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool.
È emozionante. È emozionante vedere il quadro che si muove. È un bel effetto. Spero solo che non faccia come qui sembra cada un po' la fine della gif animata che si interrompe e riparte.
What can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then
vedete che abbassa il braccio e si interrompe subito, non c'è un Bézier che calma la cosa.
On the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly, is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of minimaps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the minimap and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
Really immerse yourself.
Yeah.
Turn on or off different elements
Ah, carino. L'HUD è personalizzabile.
of our HUD.
Really immerse yourself.
And we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but that's kind of that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories. Very nice bedside tables.
They are nice bedside tables.
Yeah.
The honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set sort of feel.
And the first thing I know is the music. The score is amazing. This is
gorgeous.
And I'm calling out here, this is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released, you'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
We just want to welcome you to your common room in every single house, just a little bit differently. So you can customize that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Look at that.
So I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room. The round doors, the hanging vines, even the dancing badgers on the
It's
fireplace.
got a real earthy vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very earthy.
Which is like elements for each of the houses,
Yeah,
right? Like
Hufflepuff is earth, Ravenclaw's air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water. We
Wow.
really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So if it feels earthy, we've got a little earthen passageway. That's what we were. Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does.
but I know you don't want to leave, but we're gonna be leaving.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now, it's so cool.
Very tactile.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going
You
on.
notice a little something there. Yeah. So
Attenzione. Collezionabili che ti permettono di trovare qualche piccolo segreto, quindi non fini a se stessi.
these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some
XP.
XP for it.
Mhm.
And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge up in the
okay.
corner.
Uh-huh.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. So we had to ask ourselves, what?
Continue, I'm sorry. Continue.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Yeah.
But in our game, we had to answer the question, you know, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other students?
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before we push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide, and you can see your house kind of crest
in the middle,
overlaid
yeah.
over it.
Okay,
right? And you
okay.
can see that on your level as well. So that the Field Guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors
So
have
cool.
granted it to you as a late fifth year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of
On the bottom.
locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges,
Wow.
exploration challenges. And you can see field guide pages are on there as
Yeah.
well.
Ragazzi, wow, ho capito. Bello il sistema estetico del menu, simpatica l'idea di contestualizzare la tua età nei confronti della ricerca di aiutarti ad essere in pari, interessante sviluppo creativo per giustificare il menu del progresso, del completismo, capito? Va bene, d'accordo.
Yeah.
1%. We unlock that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways that the book itself kind of fills out into the school and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're
That is
actually going
so
to
cool.
interact with to help you grow as a wizard and practice your spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn
Yeah.
XP. It's also something that that players can use to
Appunto,
learn
ok,
about the
figo.
school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them. And there are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone.
Allora, io vi invito a non prendere in giro. Il target è un po' strano perché ti presenta le cose in una maniera anche piuttosto tecnica, però ti sta vendendo i collezionabili standard, che più standard non si può, come lo farebbe un truffatore, cioè è incredibile. Cioè, gli sviluppatori qui sono spontanei, il director è bravissimo, è un grande, cioè, spiega da Dio, lo adoro e si vede che è genuina la passione, però cazzo ti fa. E poi ci sono questi oggetti intorno alla mappa aperta che puoi trovare utilizzando l'incantesimo, è un gioco nel gioco, sono centinaia. Dovrei farlo per sapere le cose. Cioè, ho capito, è un collezionabile. Per carità, sembrano poter dare qualcosa in più rispetto alle piume di Assassin's Creed. Però, ok, il gatto e la volpe, cioè, vieni con noi, completali tutti. Guarda che è davvero divertente. Va bene. Cioè, in realtà, rendere divertenti i collezionabili è molto importante. È molto importante perché uno degli ultimi giochi in cui ho fatto il 100% dei collezionabili è stato Prototype. Ok? E nei risultati Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, oltre a essere davvero un gioco nel gioco, lì funziona, ne fai 400 su 1000 hai fatto. E li fai giocando con un minimo di attenzione. Qui è bello che ti possa offrire informazioni extra di un mondo talmente vasto e a modo suo complesso da permetterti di aggiungere informazioni senza rendere prolissa l'avventura. Funziona, ottimo. Però, esattamente, danno info sul world building. Accidenti. Il risultato delle piume lo gradii. Qui bisogna vedere, però ci sta. Solo che mi ha divertito il modo in cui lo hanno esposto.
Little glimpse of the grand staircase
Yeah.
here. We're not gonna...
Circular staircase.
All
to
the
match the tower.
portraits.
Yeah.
And I did notice the flue flame just ignite right there, which was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ok, perdonatemi la pausa consecutiva. Effettivamente muoversi nel mondo di Assassin's Creed, muoversi nel mondo di Harry Potter così è una figata. Cioè, quella prospettiva della torre con le scale e i quadri, bello. Cioè, un appassionato qua diventa brodo di giuggiole.
Fast travel points there. House hourglasses. We had to. How much fun was it designing those and putting all
Oh, they're
those in
gorgeous,
there?
but that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right
It's
next
a
to
nod
the
to
Great
lore.
Hall.
It's a nod to
Yeah.
lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the game.
We
It
didn't
is
turn it
narratively.
into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we
Carina
want
questa
to
cosa,
nod to
che non
things
hanno
that
fatto il gioco intorno a
aren't
questo.
necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right
Part of the
there,
Wizarding
Andrew
World.
was teasing. That's the Great
Great
Hall
Hall.
over
Yeah.
through those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just kind of like, no.
Cool, cool.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again showing you like just these things around Hogwarts that you can do and pick up. And
That's a shot straight from the trailer too. Just that part right there. I recognize
we
that.
might be giving you a little fan service here with callbacks to those. So
And this must be summertime because I noticed these are the summertime windows. These windows will change with the seasons.
Yeah, the detail they put into this is kind of I get surprised by it all the time.
That's
didn't
a
even know that was a
sentient
thing.
magic castle. So.
Oh man. And we're going out. Look at that.
This is where the students would normally kind of congregate, just to kind of chill out, play, meet each other outside of the Great Hall before and after meals.
And I love the way that when the castle interconnects to, that it interconnects outside, inside. There are pathways on both sides of things, so you really get a sense of scope to how big this castle is.
And when you see things, like you'll notice a bridge over there, that's a place you can go to and cross. Like
Yeah.
everything that you see is a place that you can visit.
Wow.
We put a lot of effort in making it feel really alive. Not just with student population, but even just the greenery and stuff. It's Scotland.
Yeah.
And this castle's been here for hundreds of years, so just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it and
Oh my gosh.
that landscape, that
This
Scottish.
location might look a little familiar to you.
I thought I recognized it. I believe this is from the Spring ASMR. And yes, so that puzzle right there, that view, Andrew is taking us right back to
I
that.
am going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. We can't spoil everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts
It's,
contains a lot of secrets.
Oh my God.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a Grand Central Station.
I love that. I love
Each
that.
direction, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there. Transfiguration Courtyard, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of the hub
Oh my
of
God.
a lot of the castle.
Even the color visually, you can just tell, okay, green,
Oh, green, go that
greenhouse.
way.
Oh my God.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but
Yeah.
it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it
It
on a
is a
daily
castle.
basis.
It
It's a
is.
castle.
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm
That
doing. I
statue
know
is
what I'm
from the reveal trailer.
Quello che sta facendo il director con l'inquadratura ovviamente è smart, fa piacere anche a me. È vero, ti sta stuzzicando in possibili meccaniche e scelte che puoi prendere da giocatore senza spoilerare contenuto o effettive soluzioni di gioco. Però bisogna anche, in base a una presentazione così longeva, così lunga, così completa, capire. Quindi, cioè, l'hub di gioco a cosa serve? È una masturbazione fanservice dell'ambientazione? Non può essere solo questo, né è una scatola di collezionabili, ovviamente, no? Quindi,
That dragon. Oh my
This
God.
is another location where the students will gather, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a
Yeah.
quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Mole, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of...
scusate che guardavo il tizio di dietro che andava a fuoco. Ok, quindi hai il simbolo che ti porta avanti nella quest e approfondimenti.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you
Grazie
do.
ragazzi.
In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of
I
side
hope
quests are
you
really, it's a cool way to interact
If you manage to
with
open a
your
cabinet.
fellow students, with perhaps other teachers, with, various things like that, as well as teach you some more of the secrets of Hogwarts, I think. There's a
In this
little
case,
bit of that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So the students are a way to kind of like flesh out the school opportunities around it, what we can do, and then those interactions, different interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player, and then some of those things can affect things game wide. Some of these affect.
Sbaglio o non ci hanno esplicato che cosa sono questi fuochi fatui? Sono fast travel? Sono punti di riferimento da vedere sulla mappa per capire dove ti trovi così ci vai a piedi? Ah, lo hanno detto? Ok. L'ho chiesto apposta perché era troppo strano che me lo fossi perso. Magari all'interno... Ah, metro... Ah, è per la polvere! Sono teleport. Perfetto, perfetto. Carino, allora... Mea culpa che ho perso questo dettaglio. Perdonatemi. Carino che l'ho indovinato per esperienza.
Characters' lives, the ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a
Sometimes
nice
it's just about
guy
the
or just
mission.
being a jerk.
Yes, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts
Power.
which this is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just the richness of
It
this
is
area.
very iconic, very unique to anywhere else in the castle.
Somebody else that we can talk to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year or an 11-year-old.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Sounds awful.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit.
Sapete, potete fare una clip di quello che sto per dire perché credo che ci sia poca discussione a riguardo. Onestamente vorrei che parole come questa, come queste, viaggino nel web del videogioco quanto più possibile. Non voglio in realtà, poverino, pungere il lavoro fatto qui da Hogwarts Legacy perché è perfettamente medio, è perfettamente sufficiente a seconda di poi come si sviluppa, come mantiene la botta. Però, ragazzi, dico davvero, fa soffrire vedere quanto poco si parla. Io ci ho provato nel video Effigie di Forspoken, perlomeno l'ho accennato. È veramente, veramente, veramente un peccato che non si parli quanto si dovrebbe parlare, e su questo io farò sempre guerra a chiunque lo sottovaluti, del lavoro evolutivo, estetico, d'animazione, di studio, scenografico anche, dei movimenti umani, del rapporto conversativo tra due personaggi che abbiamo in Forbidden West. Cioè, vedere questa bambina che ha anche senso abbia le braccia dietro le spalle chiuse tutto il tempo, che non muove un muscolo e rimane bloccata sulla posizione, cosa che però con lei può anche funzionare, ma non credo che gli altri avranno un grande, enorme lavoro di mimica. Io vi invito, anche se vi stucca l'open world, anche se non vi piace Forbidden West o Horizon Zero Dawn, se proprio non vi sopportate all'idea di affrontare qualcosa che non vi sconfinfera, dategli 3 ore, guardatevi un walkthrough, fatevi cutscene collection, cioè guardate come si muovono i personaggi in Forbidden West e quanto male si muovono in Zero Dawn, per dire. Il lavoro d'evoluzione, no? SNM3 4.0, ecco.
It's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the...
Ragnarok non c'entra perché Ragnarok non ha dialoghi di quel tipo. Cioè Ragnarok non è un gioco in cui hai NPC statici con cui parli, ok? Hai dei momenti nell'hub di gioco, hai dei momenti in certe location in cui hai dei personaggi che si muovono nell'ambiente, ma non è la stessa cosa. Non è un GDR o comunque un open map in cui ti vai a interagire con statici personaggi che ti danno quest o approfondiscono il lore. Hai degli ambienti super animati e ragazzi, God of War a production value è...
The worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstone.
Slideshow obietta. Ce ne vuole paragonare Zero Dawn, sviluppato 6 anni? Non so cosa vuol dire. E Forbidden West, sviluppato principalmente su PS5 con un motore grafico nuovo e ben 6 anni dopo. È un'obiezione pessima. Ti spiego il perché. Prima di tutto, Forbidden West non è un videogioco PlayStation 5. Non lo è. Per niente. È un gioco PlayStation 4. Secondariamente, il discorso temporale vale molto poco, perché all'interno di quello che sono sviluppi e sequel, cambiare completamente il paradigma estetico delle animazioni di mimica di personaggi che interagiscono in discussioni opzionali non è dovuto in nessun caso. Guarda per esempio l'evoluzione della mimica all'interno della serie di Dragon Age, che evolve molto poco, perché effettivamente non ha bisogno di avere quel tipo di evoluzione. Non di meno, neanche Zero Dawn aveva bisogno di quel tipo di evoluzione, nonostante fosse una delle mie più feroci, e non solo la mia, critiche nei confronti dell'esperienza ludica e di immersione nell'opera. Ok? Forbidden West, come Frozen Wilds, Guerriglia è una delle case produttrici che più migliora step by step all'interno del suo sviluppo e non è dovuto assolutamente. Frozen Wilds migliora enormemente Zero Dawn e Forbidden West migliora enormemente Frozen Wilds. A livello estetico, grafico, in toto. A livello di gameplay ho distrutto abbastanza ferocemente, purtroppo, comunque con poca pietà, Forbidden West perché è rimasto troppo statico, troppo immobile, troppo piatto. Quindi attenzione. È un videogioco PlayStation 4 il quale ha avuto uno sviluppo qualitativo gigantesco in zone creative dove spesso non c'è sviluppo, ok? E questo è il fatto. Non di meno, non si sta facendo un disservizio a Hogwarts, ma allo sviluppo generale di queste interazioni nel genere, ok? E Inquisition è un buon esempio, esattamente. È questo il fatto. No, certo, slideshow. Ovviamente i gameplay che funzionano, come quello di Forbidden West, di Horizon, alle difficoltà più alte possono dimostrare ciò che sono davvero. Se sono buoni gameplay, brilleranno. Se non sono buoni gameplay, imploderanno, no? Quindi, assolutamente sì. Però, capite? È un investimento poco premiante, ma che in un titolo che basa molto di se stesso sull'ambientazione, mi sarebbe piaciuto vedere più anima negli NPC. Detto questo, non è l'anima del videogioco questo rapporto tra NPC, quindi figuriamoci. Vediamo un po' come va avanti.
And hidden them in very high places.
Se non è un gioco per PlayStation 5, perché il DLC sarà solo per PlayStation 5? Non lo so, come Intergrade. Contratti, soldi.
It's all over the school.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the...
In realtà ne ho parlato quando fu dichiarata questa, come fu dichiarata questa cosa. Il caso più positivo è che il miglioramento continuo dello sviluppo di guerriglia di Horizon porti Burning Shores a essere talmente migliore da rischiare di non girare sulla piattaforma vecchia. Quanto lo credo possibile? Con guerriglia di cui mi fido molto nell'esagerazione di miglioramento che ha di progetto in progetto? Non più del 50%. Non più del 50%. Se non fosse guerriglia sarebbe il 15%.
The rules? Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her, you can be a jerk to her, you can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there aren't over. So,
they continue.
That's a good example of the
Gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask, Gobstones playable? They mentioned it, right?
Yeah. Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game. I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's Chess.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Yeah. They're featured within the world. Right?
I'm glad they're mentioned. They're a part of the Wizarding world.
Yeah. Every single time.
Comunque mi ha appena spezzato il cuore, perché io stavo per dire, quindi hanno anche messo come minigiochi. Però ce ne saranno sicuramente di minigiochi. Qualcosa ci sarà sicuramente.
There was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too, we're
see your
like,
reaction.
you're getting,
I was like, we're in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking by. I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it so tell us how classes work?
Yeah, so ultimately decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day and you know, that kind of thing. Like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night cycle, but everything is very narrative-based, and so there's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative, each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors. Each one of them has these bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions, essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world. And, you know, maybe down there he's sipping some tea with the
Victorian high
society.
High society.
And it's no wonder you like this area because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Oh, come on.
Well, like, speaking of lived in, like, the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening and the footsteps, like, it just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that, the brooms going
I
by
just saw a broom
overhead.
go by. Love that. The data tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player.
Right.
Help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality and
personality. I like that because
Yeah,
it
a lot of
it does like
character.
Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah.
sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of
And
grow
full
and
of,
develop. Oh, I heard.
character no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Level 1 lock. Quindi hai l'incantesimo per aprire le serrature. Ok.
Yeah.
Sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of
And
grow
full
and
of,
develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic, Mr. Magic himself.
Might feature a poltergeist or two.
You know, we talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side.
Oh, yeah?
That's
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another
Well,
Revelio
sorry.
page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides
It
there.
hides behind it. That's right.
The third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just passed a music hallway where the portraits have kind of taken it over, and so the sound makes it really unique.
All right, I gotta call this out here. I know there's been some criticism in the past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are at the Owlery. We're looking directly at the Owlery to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the Owlery.
I
all
love the
owls.
fog rolling down that.
Great callback. Great call.
But no, I also love that as I one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see are places that I can go to, that I can visit. I just love that sensation knowing that is real.
I love the Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, it was but a fraction of this enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the Clock Tower, so another recognizable location.
Yeah.
But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club, is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year. But we kind of like that that he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
And this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game, this is going to be the first time where you yourself get to learn about combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There are certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones, so that you can slot up to 16 spells, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly.
Yeah.
And so you learn over the course of these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things, like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them, and that's how you access all those.
Oh man, it looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together,
So you
pull those combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Well done,
Andrew.
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean,
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice.
Pardon? Non volevo tossire nel microfono. Dicevo, non capisco il motivo per il quale il doppiaggio fa un effetto così Uncanny Valley, nel senso che non sono assolutamente un fan di come è doppiato. Non di meno l'introduzione iniziale al combat system lo rende già un videogioco. Mi piace. Bisogna vedere il sistema, che sarà probabilmente carta, forbice, sasso, con alcune magie e counter, come si sviluppa, ma I see potential.
Then during a duel, you'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan.
Dicevo, sì, qui l'ambient occlusion non è qui l'ambient occlusion non è pervenuta. Ecco.
That sense of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got you up against 3 people.
3, yeah. Off the jump.
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in. You're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters. And you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all this, control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're seeing. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health, and so.
Esatto, è praticamente una interpretazione di meccaniche free flow, perché l'elo intorno, l'aura intorno al nostro protagonista è sicuramente un avviso che sta per arrivare un incantesimo da cui puoi difenderti, e hai il meccanismo carta, forbice, sasso dei colori e dell'elemento che usi.
You know, as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default,
Non mi sto mutando io, Non mi sto mutando io. È, credo, un hotkey che è impazzito. Perché solo la prima volta mi ero mutato io. Adesso devo spostare il mouse perché c'è un hotkey che non mi piace. Stavo dicendo... è la magia che mi muta. Stavo dicendo... Questo James è appassionatissimo, ma si è messo a ridere dinanzi all'idea del sesto senso, dell'esperienza del mago che arriva a percepire l'idea di una bacchetta contro di lui. Calma, è figo, ma non c'è bisogno di essere così succube dell'emozione.
Then that you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with protect.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, you know, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna.
È super free flow.
Pretty handily finish these.
Come dice James, è come un ballo. Il free flow è come un ballo.
It's like a dance.
Yeah, we really felt like in the movies, there's almost like a. It's kind of like there's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's such a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea that's pretty unique to the Wizarding world.
Understandable.
Yes. Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
And that is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without, well, maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. You know, so leaving the castle, going out here.
More owls confirmed.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes, all of the owls. But yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And this is not somewhere where we're going today, but we will definitely be taking you in the future.
Grazie ragazzi, Dario, Flared, Cima di Rapa, Siplof, Cloud Dark, Simone, Tiu, Ico.
All right, so we're
Grazie.
gonna wrap things up here,
Fight.
but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So
Yes.
while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side, I know there's a few things that you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains about.
I would love that because there's a lot. Let me grab it. All right, so some of these questions we did pull from the community secretly, but I did pull from the community. So,
And also from, I mean, going through this, I
Based
feel like
off of-
you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about. I'm sure.
elaborate on, because we went through character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
So not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair color. So kind of like core shapes, you know, like with the body and face, not after the fact.
Okay.
But there are lots of things. There's kind of like a barber shop in Hogsmeade that you can go to, and
Of course, there's
inside
a wizard
there,
barber,
you can
right?
customize, yeah.
You could change your hair color for holidays or something, right?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
And the game features a lot of appearance customization in it. So there's a ton of options there. But that's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have the character creator. It's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay. Oh my God. Awesome, awesome. Next question. What kind of leisurely activity can we do? Can we study with our free time? I mean, what will we be doing just hanging out in Hogwarts?
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities. You know, some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so, so I think there's a bunch of things to do. And when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you know, the assignment and how you complete it with your professor. And so there are opportunities to study, so to speak, like with that. But they do all take the form of our mission structure.
As you mentioned earlier. Wow. Let's get into some combat right quick. Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff. And then it's through the talent system, right? When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change. And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
I won't be touching the dark art stuff, but I know many of you guys will be.
Maybe on your second playthrough?
Yeah, second playthrough, yes. Okay. Dark Hufflepuff coming, #soon. I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience? Boston.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again. I hope that whether you're already a fan and love this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope they just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it and live there. I've lived there for 5 years. It's a great place to live. Official 5th year.
It's really funny because I want to give a different answer, and I will. But I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that.
Yeah.
But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game.
Right.
And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing location. I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know what's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here, and there's this person over here, and this thing.
Quindi comunque si sono concentrati molto sul film.
Richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story.
Yeah.
So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
That vantage point, yeah.
There's just something exhilarating about it that feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It just it's kind of incredible. Yeah.
And wrapping it up, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories, because it is your story, and you are going to be writing. This is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience.
Esatto, prima i libri come le clessidre e poi ci si sposta sul film.
I think that's going to be really cool, the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to see, but it was a whole lot of stuff. Character creator.
Ok. Siamo a metà strada. Vediamo. Qui dovrebbe esserci più ciccia, perché comunque questo gameplay showcase è stata per 4/5 una passeggiata nel lab che hanno fatto bene a fare, però.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Hogwarts Legacy Gameplay Showcase. I'm Chandler Wood, Community Manager here at Avalanche Software, and I'm honored to introduce you to our panel today. First up, we have community guest host, Ben Snow.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Thank you so much for having me.
And from the Avalanche team, we have Game Director Alan Tu.
Hello everybody.
And Systems Designer Mackenzie Toner.
Hi.
And finally, just
It
off-screen
begins,
capturing
ragazzi.
gameplay for us, Andrew Coram.
Ok.
Today we'll be giving you a taste of the open world via Broom Flight, a deeper look at combat using the Dark Arts Battle Arena, and
Flight.
a look at your personalizable home within Hogwarts, the Room of Requirement, where we may even see some beasts. And we're starting right where we left off in our last gameplay showcase, just outside Hogwarts, which I love that you can walk out of the castle after walking through everything and then just come out here and take off on your broom out into the open world. And Alan, I know that's something that you particularly like about Hogwarts Legacy too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of just being able to hop on the broom and go anywhere. There's something about kind of like the sensation of everything being open to you, and just I love the proximity that I can get to things. I love flying close to the ground, and I kind of wanted to talk about it just because I feel like the brooms are fun for me, not just because of all those feelings of exhilaration, but because they're not just, I have a broom and it's done. I actually kind of like some of the mechanics in it. So you see in the lower right, there's a meter there, and occasionally as Andrew's kind of flying up or flying down, you might notice it draining or not. And this isn't the present day where all the broom technology is well known and advanced and everything that we know and love. This is an earlier time where they're still trying to figure out, we're not at the 3,000 yet. We're at the 11. So.
Oh my goodness, I'm just so speechless right now because this is just so beautiful. The world just looks so. By the way, the broom, is that like the only one, or can you like upgrade that broom to go faster?
Yeah, so we have
shop in Hogsmeade, actually a broom shop. And so that sells a variety of different brooms. And it was important to us that the player could customize themselves based on their own aesthetic. So they're purely cosmetic, but if you talk to the shopkeep and help him out, he'll actually sell upgrades.
Yeah, and those upgrades will make it so that where normally the broom, you can only fly, you can only go at max speed. It's kind of like a turbo meter down there. You can only go at max speed without the meter going down, kind of closer to the ground. And as you raise into the air, you'll notice the meter drop. And so those upgrades will allow you to increase that distance from the ground. And the broom owner at the sporting goods store in Hogsmeade is trying to perfect the broom and get better at it and know it better. And you can participate that and get better and better brooms through that.
I see.
And I love that mechanic encourages you to actually explore the world and kind of stay close to the ground. It's not just a travel mechanic, point A to point B. You're not just flying high over everything, although it is beautiful, something I really love doing, but as well, there's lots to explore on the ground, and so kind of keeping you down at the ground level.
And to me, it feels like it's got this kind of surfing vibe over the.
Oh my God, like I'm just like, I want to snatch the controller from Andrew right now because I want to go to the mountaintop, I'm going to that forest and to that hamlet, or I don't know if that's how it's called. I think that's what it is.
No, it's awesome. We're actually gonna land here, and I feel like that you call it a hamlet is just perfect, just because that's what we refer to it as, and so. We all know from lore that Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village within Britain, but we wanted other opportunities to kind of meet other characters out here and to kind of populate the landscape, so it's not just kind of, barren as you leave out this direction and that direction. And so we just imagine these different dwellings, these different smaller locations that wizards might live in out in the Scottish Highlands. And so it's those, and so we refer to those as hamlets, and they're opportunities to learn those wizard stories, how those different locations have kind of like learned to live, what their relationships are with characters at Hogsmeade and Hogwarts. And so they're both quest opportunities out here and a chance to kind of...
Beh, allora, il traversing sembra comunque molto fluido. L'idea di giustificare le imperfezioni delle scope da mago con l'epoca in cui è ambientato il gioco è graziosa. Che siano upgradabili e modificabili anche. Still, comunque, io ho bisogno di capire che minchia si fa in questo videogioco. Perché è ovvio che con l'esperienza si capisce come si tratta di un open map o un open world, diciamo limitato a X chilometri quadri, vedremo, se chilometri, in cui hai la quest principale che si sviluppa probabilmente un po' in Hogwarts e un po' fuori, all'interno di dungeon e così via. Hai molte side quest, molte side activities, però quindi a livello di puro gameplay, il core gameplay, cioè quello che ti metti a fare al di là del parlare e fare piccole attività e combattimenti, cos'è? Cioè una missione, come si sviluppa? Quindi
get to know more of the area, even beyond Hogwarts and Hogsmeade that we've already experienced. And you'll also notice on the mini-map, like lots of little icons, and each one of those
le ho viste
gameplay in the hamlets that you can participate in, whether it's a vendor or different puzzles,
potenzialmente
or different secrets that exist.
Graziosissimo, guarda che
each
bello
one
che
of
da
those
vedere.
icons are different opportunities for gameplay. And you'll notice that same thing as we venture out into the open world as well. So when you go out into the open world and you see those icons, whether they're on the mini-map or on your map or off in the distance, those things are opportunities to say, like, I want to increase my inventory capacity. They're puzzles left behind by old wizards, that you can solve that actually grant you those. If you see ruins off in the distance and you visit them, you might find opportunities to actually expand and learn about your ancient magic. And as you kind of encounter different enemies dotted on the landscape, sometimes those characters, poachers or dark wizards, might be hoarding different magical resources that are valuable to you as you're playing the game. So each one has kind of like a way to connect to our gameplay loops and provide different opportunities that just kind of reward you for poking around.
I mean, I right away want to just cover all of those points on the map, just by going over there.
Well, we've flown on a broom already, but there is something that we haven't done so far, and that is getting on our flying mount. We're gonna hop on our Onyx Hippogriff here. The Onyx Hippogriff is our pre-order bonus.
Oh my god, there he just like pops out of the the bag. Oh wait, you can use it as a horsey? I mean, a horse. I mean, that is a horse.
Yeah, as a hippogriff, you can totally ride it like a ground mount, and you can lift off into the air. And we tried to make sure that each of those interactions, so the broom's really good at reaching that.
Comunque il livello evidentemente c'è, perché ha appena, diciamo, loccato l'HUD una creatura di livello 18.
Top speed at kind
Figo,
of
però.
traveling the world as quickly as possible.
Guarda che bella
But
l'animazione.
sometimes it's really nice to get on the hippogriff because of that ground speed or those transitions. And sometimes it just feels amazing just to be riding around on a hippogriff.
Look at it.
Yeah, it really is kind of like, I don't know, it's a great feeling being on it, and it's a great feeling managing those transitions.
Insomma, se fai pre-order, mi sa che la scopa per le prime ore non la usi, eh?
Kind of going from run to fly and just being able to go wherever you want. And we tried to make sure that each one of these things that you can interact with have a unique identity and a reason for being.
And, oh my god, like I see like different.
Attenzione, percepisco una witcherata qui. Attenzione. Ah, nel pre-order è solo la skin, quindi comunque vabbè, la cavalcatura però è molto più libera della scopa per ora. Bisogna vedere quali saranno le distinzioni. Guardate, la ruota degli strumenti è molto utile per combattere creature di livello più alto. O comunque nelle situazioni più complesse. Piante da battaglia e pozioni possono darti un vantaggio.
Like areas, like a swampy area.
Esatto,
Wait,
l'ippogrifo
can
sta più
you
lento.
go
L'ippogrifo.
to like entire map anywhere you go? There are regions that are like locked from you.
Yeah,
or,
as soon as you, there's kind of a moment where the world kind of opens up to you outside of Hogwarts as a student, and right from that moment, early on in the game, you can go wherever you want. And so you might find more difficult challenges in different areas, and you'll see different spots as Andrew's moving around, like you mentioned, the swamp.
Interessante.
But there, we have got like a coast, and we've got different types of environments out in.
Santo cielo, grazie del raid! Chiara, Francesco, grazie di cuore. Ah, devo ricambiare ASAP. Grazie. Benvenuti. Stiamo in ritardo di un mese, con la gola distrutta, reagendo e analizzando un po' alla cieca i 2 gameplay showcase di Hogwarts Legacy, perché è uno dei videogiochi più attesi di quest'anno, cioè lo è incredibilmente centrale, e mentre grazie The Frostborn per aver completato il sub-goal, grazie di cuore, adesso vi dovrò giustamente, anche a questo punto me ne approfitto, ringraziare tutti, dando il benvenuto ai ragazzi, stiamo osservando un po' come hanno deciso di presentarlo. In realtà, a questo punto, visto l'arrivo dei ragazzi e ragazze del canale di Sidonia_Chiara, mi approfitto per dire una cosa che ogni tanto mi immagino i paradossi, no? Ma se qualcuno mi obiettasse questo, cosa risponderei? Io vivo di questi momenti di autoconflitto. Mi aiutano un sacco a pensare, mi aiutano un sacco a migliorare, e in generale mi sono sempre chiesto perché nessuno, magari con un po' di livore, mi dice: ma scusa Mike, perché ti lamenti, no? Di quello che mostrano quando tu anni fa hai ribadito con molta veemenza come non ci sia nessun dovere da parte di uno sviluppatore, di un publisher, di un autore di presentare alcunché del videogioco che poi venderà, no? Ogni tanto mi chiedo, no? Chissà se arriverà qualcuno a darmi questa forma di contrasto, e in questo caso la cosa affascinante è ribaduto, ora è canon, sono d'accordo, fa parte del neologismo del deserto. In questo caso stiamo esperendo quasi un'ora e mezza di gameplay, a differenza di 0 o di qualcosa di molto più sottile, con però altalenanze nella presentazione. Cioè, decidi di mostrarmi un'ora e mezza, vediamo dove vogliamo andare a parare. È un'ora e mezza, no? Per ora però è evidente che c'è una stupenda dicotomia tra quanto è bello avere il director a parlarne, che dice cose molto chiare, che le esprime con grande limpidezza e serietà, con passione, e invece la scelta di cosa mostrare. che è superficialissimo, limitatissimo e molto guidato. Per ora però, che dir si voglia, sembra un buon videogioco. Cioè, non ha niente di stellare che non sia l'amore per l'ambientazione, perché lì c'è veramente enorme cura. È evidente che c'è tanto amore. Tanto, Guardate ragazzi la scuola prima o i cartelli qui, insomma, le animazioni dell'ippogrifo. Però potrebbe anche essere terribilmente sufficiente. Ok? Cioè io vorrei capire dove si va a livello di gameplay, inteso come non soltanto l'esperienza ludica, ma l'effettivo sistema di loop. È ovvio che la trama non ce la fanno vivere in un'anteprima come questa, però per ora abbiamo visto che si cammina, si parla con gli NPC, non ci sono minigiochi, cioè, tutte le idee di minigioco che abbiamo avuto sono state rimosse, c'è il codex e si vola. Va bene. Poi, cioè, aiuto. Joe R. Joe, Floating Saturn, Rary, Allen, Mao, Andandi, Simon. Grazie. Sì, no, della trama si sa qualcosa, lo so.
In the world, just to kind of pepper your experience, reward you for exploring.
Lo so, Andrea. Il mondo di Harry Potter ha un suo valore.
So cool. I love that windmill. It's like so rustic. Like I keep forgetting that this is like 1800s.
No, è molto bella l'ambientazione. Ha ragione,
like, it feels
ragazzi.
so authentic. Like it just, it's part of it.
Yeah, I love this vista too, and I'm gonna have Andrew stop here. We're gonna use a bit of dev magic to change the seasons.
Vedo che comunque la mia chat è spesso acculturata di videogiochi. Una delle cose di cui sono più orgoglioso è che si è attirato attraverso le effigi e il lavoro di approfondimento un pubblico che di videogiochi ne capisce. A livello anche di storia, perché c'è Pocket J che ha fatto It makes you feel like Harry Potter, che è una citazione di una presentazione. Perdonami Mattia, welcome back. Benvenuto.
Actually, I want you to see what this world looks like, covered in snow.
Yes, 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 please. I love snow.
Non è grave. È stato genuinamente divertente. Cioè, no. No. Se lo fa anche il director, ragazzi, va bene. Ho anch'io i miei balletti ogni tanto, per carità. Però, magari, così alla cieca non me l'aspettavo.
This is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. This is so pretty. Okay, it looks so realistic. Oh my god, it changes the landscape like completely. Oh my god, does it have like actual like gameplay impact, like impact on the gameplay, or does it like it's just the weather of Scotland?
Yeah, we really use it as a narrative marker through the game. So as you're progressing through your main storyline, it was important for us to kind of like have those moments that kind of felt like when you're reading the books or watching the movies where, you know, you'll see kind of like the title card winter and now the landscape has changed and you're really feeling that passage of time while you're a student, you know, going through your year at Hogwarts.
Percepisco percorsi di volo?
And I think we wanted to duplicate that. And for me, it's really fun that it's not just on the outside, which I agree. I think it looks really beautiful. But
è bello che ci sia l'avanzamento stagionale
there are
nella
moments
trama.
like when it reaches certain holidays or things like that, where Hogsmeade
Oh
reacts
my
to
God.
holidays and the school reacts to holidays, and you see the decorations around those environments.
Carino.
That really helped just kind of make me feel like I'm there.
Right.
And it's not just you know for the seasons those kind of vibe things. Like we have a day-night cycle, and that day-night cycle, even though similarly, like it's largely about vibe. When you go into Hogsmeade in the evening, there's less characters there. Around the school, you'll notice it kind of dies down and quiets down. Seasons, those kind of vibe things. Like we have a day-night cycle, and that day-night cycle, even though similarly, like it's largely about vibe. When you go into Hogsmeade in the evening, there's less characters there. Around.
Lo avete notato? Qui farò un pochino uso di expertise. Potrei sbagliarmi e sarò felicissimo di aver fatto il saccente in maniera ottusa. C'è una cosina qua.
Like we have a day-night cycle, and that day-night cycle, even though similarly, like it's largely about.
No, non mi riferisco
It's not
all'encounter.
just, for the seasons.
Vi faccio vedere una cosa. Ditemi cosa ne pensate.
Those kind of vibe things, like we have a day-night cycle, and that day-night cycle, even though similarly, like it's largely about vibe. When you go into Hogsmeade in the evening, there's less characters there.
Sono quasi sicuro, ve lo faccio vedere senza audio. Ditemi cosa ne pensate. Sono quasi sicuro che subentri un'intelligenza artificiale forzata quando si vola o plana a bassa altitudine tra gli alberi. Credo che la mount autoviri per impedirti di... Esatto. Cioè non puoi schiantarti, non puoi farlo, proprio è impossibile. Cioè hai libertà, ma a un certo punto entra in un binario e ti fa lo zig-zag da solo. Non è solo l'animazione che schiude le ali, ok? È proprio un... Guardate come muove poco il collo, vedete? Questo non è il giocatore. Non credo sia il giocatore che lo fa. Penso che facciano così.
Around the school, you'll notice it kind of dies down and quiets down. Just when there's just candlelight and students kind of like as you're walking through.
Sì. È automatico, nel senso non è che ho usato impropriamente il termine IA, però capite cosa intendo. Ti automatizzano il sistema di movimento.
But in that...
Alla fine anche il labiale dei personaggi è un algoritmo. Cioè, quando è fino a Dragon Age Origins che abbiamo una cosa del genere.
Day-night cycle is where we've kind of placed a few items.
Come la regalia, esatto.
Whether or not you can collect them or whether or not you can interact with
Nei
them.
sentieri di Horizon, eccetera.
By the day-night cycle.
And I love Andrew's flying up here, really high up on the hippogriff. And we're just looking at this view of Hogwarts in the distance. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's part of what I love most about flying around in this game, whether it's on a hippogriff or on the broom.
No, I mean, you talk about going anywhere and things that you can see in the distance, and that's one of my... I still can't get over, like, no matter, I play this so much, but I still can't get over the fact that I can see Hogwarts out there, and there's just something beautiful about knowing that all of the things inside of it, the classrooms, the students, the professors, all the places I can go, I can just fly my hippogriff, land in the courtyard, enter the front doors, and just walk, to the library, to class, or to greenhouse, or to my common room, that it's all contiguous and just kind of like one space is still exciting to me after all this time.
I mean, I'm just I'm speechless right now. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's just, oh my God.
As much as we want to spend a lot more time out here just flying around, experiencing the world, I think this is a great opportunity to switch over to combat. And last time we gave you kind of an intro to combat. This time we're going to really go a lot more of a deep dive on using the Dark Arts Battle Arena, which is part of our Deluxe Edition. All right, Andrew's got us in the Forbidden Forest, which is where the Dark Arts Battle Arena is. Which is part of the Deluxe and Digital Deluxe Edition. I love the way that the Dark Arts Battle Arena is actually part of the world. It's integrated into the world, so your experience is more immersive than just choosing an option from the main menu of the game or something like that.
A reason to go to the Forbidden Forest.
Exactly. There are many reasons to go to the Forbidden Forest, but he's also wearing the Dark Arts cosmetic set, and here he's pulling out the Thestral, which is part of that Dark Arts pack from the Deluxe and Digital Deluxe Edition. So we're going full Dark Arts here.
That's good. That's what I'm doing.
But I like this this battle arena. It is a great place to show off really combat in a big way because it unlocks some interesting abilities for you and allows you to really play around with combat in a deep way.
And is this like the only arena like this in the game where you can like practice?
Yeah, so in the base game we have 2 combat arenas normally, and so everyone has access to those. And each of the combat arenas are an opportunity to kind of just go through a difficult combat challenge, fight through multiple waves in order to earn a different cosmetic for your character and add that to your collection. In the case of that's no different than the Dark Arts Battle Arena. That's also true, the combat arena. But one of the things that we're excited about in the Dark Arts Battle Arena that people can do is you come in preloaded with different abilities. So The unforgivable curses are something that everyone's going to have access to through the base game and going to be able to earn, and they can make choices in order to kind of like add that to their repertoire, and they can also commit to that down with certain talents and things like that. When you play the Dark Arts Combat Arena, you actually have access to all those things as kind of like a way to test them all. And so it's a chance to kind of like tour and play with the dark arts and decide whether or not that is a path that you kind of want to go down. But yeah, everyone has the same ability to explore the dark arts. This is just kind of like a way of previewing.
And again, a great place for us to show off combat in general. So I think we're gonna jump in here. Andrew's gonna start battling, and we can start talking about everything you're seeing on the screen.
All right. Oh, they just about the cadavers right away. Oh my god.
We're starting off strong.
Oh my god. Was that Kujio? Oh my god. That's so cool.
Yeah, so that you'll notice right away, like when we used Avada Kedavra, that guy's health bar went from instant to 0, and we really are trying to honor the way Avada Kedavra works in the game, even in some pretty extreme situations. You'll notice that like the meter takes up a lot longer to
a little cooldown.
Build up as a way to kind of deal with its extreme power, just so that it's still fun to use. And then there's some ways that we'll probably talk about to adjust that. But I don't know. I don't know if there are things on the screen that you just have questions about.
Well, I see like little blue things pop up from the enemies. Also, before like that sign, well, it's like, so in the community we call it the ancient magic sign. I don't know if that's how it's called in the game.
So the community is astute. So on the development side and in player facing in the game, we reference that as your ancient magic meter.
Oh, so it is ancient magic.
That is, yeah. So as your abilities in the game keep growing and you become exposed to some of the secrets about your own kind of mystery and your own abilities, you start unlocking new powers. So one of those powers, you'll see the R1 button appearing throughout the game. That's an ancient magic throw, we call it, that allows you to.
Vabbè, certo, nel free flow è il sistema di utilizzo dell'ambiente.
But whenever you see the R1 or the L1 plus R1 appear over somebody's head, that's an ability to cast a very devastating and powerful ancient magic spell to do a ton of damage against the character.
I see.
And the way that manifests itself depends on the type of enemy that you're fighting. And you'll see a wide variety of enemies in here that are pressuring the player in different ways. You'll notice there's abilities that kind of bubble up under the player as he's fighting that force him to move. And there's different ways that we want the player to kind of move around on the battlefield. And that's actually a good link to the ancient magic meter in general. And the reason why I say that is because as you're doing different things in combat, you're Portegoing and you're doing different abilities and you can kind of spec into it with your talents, there are different ways to get that meter to build faster and faster. So one of the most effective base ways to build up that meter fast, that way you can launch these devastating attacks whenever you want to, is to actually perform combos. So you see that combo appearing, and it's almost like your emotions are building up, and then basically that builds up enough that you can attack someone. But as the combo meter builds up, at some point you strike someone and a piece of their magic kind of falls out of them. You'll see these blue orbs in the game world, and there's something that only you can see in the narrative, in the world. And it's another reason to move around on the battlefield. If you can go up and collect those things and suck them in, they give big jumps to that ancient magic meter as we're playing.
We're talking a lot about spells and magic here, but I think there's another huge component of combat, and that is the tools that you can bring to combat as well to kind of change the way you play. And I think Mackenzie knows a lot about what's going on with the plants and potions.
And so the tools are really interesting because they're basically like a prior investment. So you can bring the potions and the plants that you grow in the Room of Requirement to combat to essentially kind of help you defeat enemies a lot quicker and more efficiently. So some of the tools that you'll see here are like the rock skin potion. So that is something that basically covers your skin in this like rocky material that reduces the incoming damage that you're receiving. So against big enemies, hard-hitting enemies like trolls, that's super helpful.
Oh my god, she's just destroying. The troll just collapsed from whatever the kid.
Obviously, we have the Wiggenweld potion as well, which increases your health. And then we have the focus potion. So when Alan talks about having to balance Avada Kedavra with a long cooldown, because obviously it's an instant kill, one thing that you could do is brew a focus potion, and that will increase how quickly your cooldowns through a focus potion.
Quindi vabbè, mandragore, pozione di focus.
And that will increase how quickly your cooldowns regain.
Right. Oh my god. There's just so much like versatility, like in what the character is doing to the troll right now. Like he's just bouncing around the arena. He's like not, and the troll makes him move around too. Looks like.
And I love that our plants are violent.
Yes, and so that's like when we were talking about the setup of the arena, you also have plants that you can fight with. And so we have things like the venomous tentacula that you can put down and it acts like a turret and it just kind of shoots enemies around the battlefield.
That is so cool. This is like a truly like Hufflepuffian way to approach the battle.
Exactly. No, that was super important to us, that there were these like multiple ways. And so you can see there's a ton of different things that you can use. The Mandrake is one, so you can pull it out and it stuns with its like piercing cry these enemies in a radius.
And another thing I want to call out that we're seeing on the side of the screen here is these dueling feats, which I love because I love anything that prompts me to play a game in a different way, a unique way. I don't want to get stuck in my style, you know? And so this is a way to, if you want to get stuck in your style, go for it. If you just want to blast people with spells, go for it. But we also want to have some things over here that may make you use certain plants or certain potions or block more or...
Yeah, we mentioned the field guide challenges in the prior stream. And the field guide challenges, this is the way that the field guide manifests like challenges for you to do in combat. And exactly to your point, we just wanted a way to encourage players to explore the different systems, to help them decide, to just kind of practice with them and explore what they want to do, because there really are so many different ways that you can push talents. When you see the green X's on characters, that's right, and that's kind of through your talents you can unlock this kind of cursing mechanic that sort of like links the fates of these different characters on the battlefield.
Ecco cos'è.
That way, as you get as you're cursing different characters, they all begin sharing damage, and so we have things like Avada Kedavra, which is the insta-kill, but if you curse everyone before you insta-kill this one guy, they can all drop dead for that kind of ultimate Voldemort fantasy. And so, oh my God. there are Dark Arts fantasies. There's fantasies about being more of a defense against the Dark Arts characters, things like that misty step that you see occasionally being used on the battlefield.
Quello aveva la Croce Verde, scusa.
Ultimate Voldemort fantasy. And so, oh my God.
No,
there are Dark Arts fantasies. There's fantasies about being more of a defense against the Dark Arts characters, things like that misty step that you see occasionally being used on the battlefield. And we can also spec into our potions and plants to make them more powerful and more efficacious. So it's all about which type of player you feel like you are and whether or not you want to play with prep, on the fly, or with deliberation, and those are all different options.
That is so cool because like it's like I see so much like going on the stream, just so much complexity, and I want to just try it myself, like which style works best. I mean, I feel like it's...
Sì, ma io il combattimento me lo rivedrei. Me lo rivedrei il combattimento.
Here, Andrew's going to start battling, and we can start talking about everything you're seeing on the screen.
All right. Oh, they just about the cadavers right away. Oh my God.
We're starting off strong.
Oh my God. Was that Crucio? Oh.
Quindi abbiamo allora partiamo dal presupposto che Avada Kedavra è un incantesimo che hanno voluto mantenere come nella narrativa un one shot. Quindi ha un lento cooldown, ovviamente puoi abusare del sistema con delle pozioni che ti aumentano la velocità di ricarica e tendenzialmente, strategicamente, quando utilizzi queste arti oscure, i nemici più grossi li butti immediatamente. Crucio stordisce e credo forse aggiunga un dot, non lo so, ho visto dei danni apparire ma non ho compreso se davvero ti permette di fare un dot. E in generale l'effetto di un avversario maledetto si trasmette in una percentuale a quelli con la stessa forma di debuff, ok?
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that you'll notice right away, like when we used Avada Kedavra, that guy's health bar went from instant to 0, and we really are trying to honor the way Avada Kedavra works in the game, even in some pretty extreme situations. You'll notice that like the meter takes up a lot longer to kind of build up as a way to kind of deal with its extreme power, just so that it's still fun to use. And then there's some ways that we'll probably talk about to adjust that. But I don't know. I don't know if there are things on the screen that you just have questions about.
Well,
Adesso rivediamo le domande di nuovo. Ovviamente abbiamo l'attacco semplice, che sono le combo che utilizzava prima con Leviosa, che ti permette di fare tick di danno tra un incantesimo e l'altro, oltre ad allontanare l'avversario, che nel bene e nel male.
Like I see like little blue thingies popping from the enemies. Also, before like that sign, well, it's like, so in the community we call it the ancient magic sign. I don't know if that's how it's called.
Yeah.
In the game.
So the community is astute. So on the development side and in player facing in the game, we reference that as your ancient magic meter.
Oh, so it is ancient magic.
That is, yeah. So as your abilities in the game keep growing and you become exposed to some of the secrets about your own kind of mystery and your own abilities, you start unlocking new powers. So one of those powers, you'll see the R1 button appearing throughout the game. That's an ancient magic throw, we call it, that allows you to kind of like draw an object to you and fling it at an enemy.
Okay.
But whenever you see the R1 or the L1 plus R1 appear over somebody's head, that's an ability to cast a very devastating and powerful ancient magic spell to do a ton of damage against the character.
I see.
And the way that manifests itself depends on the type of enemy that you're fighting. And you'll see a wide variety of enemies in here that are pressuring the player in different ways. You'll notice that you're fighting, and you'll see
Ok, mi sono tolto l'ultimo dubbio che avevo, mi sono distratto un momento e avevo perso un'informazione. È assolutamente cruciale far notare quanto free flow questo sistema sia. È assolutamente free flow, perché la combo, insieme a questa energia antica che tu narrativamente sei l'unico a vedere nel mondo di gioco, ti carica le barre speciali sopra le pozioni e accanto al sistema di selezione degli incantesimi, e con quelle puoi fare la kill istantanea o utilizzare l'environment. Quindi è proprio quello. È proprio quello. Il gameplay è molto più, diciamo, presente di quanto non ci si potesse preoccupare. Non è semplicemente staticamente fare una sequenza di tasti in loop. Stiano attenti e staremo noi attenti nel cercare di capire la varietà di quello che ci offrirà. Perché, per esempio, quello che faceva, di nuovo, l'esempio della massificazione delle free flow e della sua evoluzione moderna con Arkham Asylum, loro avevano nemici speciali che avevano abilità difensive o offensive che ti cambiavano il sistema di combo. Qui abbiamo diversi colori degli incantesimi a cui tu devi reagire. Che cosa accade nei sistemi più complessi? Alla fine le creature non magiche, come i troll o alcuni attacchi melee, le schivi o le pari. Vediamo. È tutto basato sui parry, in realtà. Questo credo che sia da giocare a difficoltà alta se sei videogiocatore, sì.
a wide variety of enemies in here that are pressuring the player in different ways. You'll notice there's abilities that kind of bubble up under the player as he's fighting that force him to move, and there's different ways that we want the player to kind of move around on the battlefield. And that's actually a good.
Quello che volevo dirvi è che non a difficoltà alta, perché sono abbastanza indeciso sul fatto che possa aver fiducia o meno sul fatto che la difficoltà cambi l'aggressività. Può essere, possono farlo, ma non ne sono sicuro. La minimappa in combat non so quanto può essere utile, ma effettivamente il fatto di avere il sesto senso e potersi difendere dagli attacchi, guardate. Questa cosa, quando si raggiunge una difficoltà abbastanza alta, fosse anche nel numero di avversari e nella loro aggressività, può essere molto soddisfacente da giocare.
As you're doing different things in combat, you're protegoing and you're doing different abilities and you can kind of spectate with your talents.
No, la difficoltà scegliibile si è vista durante la creazione del personaggio Persephone. Per questo la do per scontata, perché c'è. L'ho vista a schermo.
Different ways to get that meter to build faster and faster. But one of the most effective base ways to build up that meter fast, that way you can launch these devastating attacks whenever you want to, is to actually perform combos. So you see that combo appearing, and it's almost like your emotions are building up, and then basically that builds up enough that you can attack someone. But as the combo meter builds up, at some point you strike someone and a piece of their magic kind of falls out of them. You'll see the blue orbs in the game world, and there's something that only you can see in the narrative, in the world. And it's another reason to move around on the battlefield. If you can go up and collect those things and suck them in, they give.
Grazie Fabio dei Gil. Una cosa che vorrei aggiungere è, uno degli sviluppatori ha detto che il ragazzo che sta giocando è veramente molto bravo, visto che lo sta testando dall'inizio dello sviluppo, e fa sembrare il gioco molto più semplice di quello che in realtà non sia. Ok, e non ci sarà da preoccuparsi riguardo alla difficoltà degli scontri.
Big jumps to that ancient magic meter as we're playing.
We're talking a lot about spell.
Ok, però adesso sono soddisfatto. Ho visto tutto quello che volevo.
Putting the dark arts away, put those unforgivable curses away, and heading to the Room of Requirement, which is your home within Hogwarts, a personalizable space that actually has some utility as well, where you get to brew things and grow things, and also care for some beasts. All right, Andrew's got us in the Room of Requirement, wearing, we kind of went casual mode on the outfit here, wearing a nice jumper. And I think that's a good jumping off point for the personalization of the space as well. Not just your character and the visuals of your character, but actually this space is a place that you can make your own.
Yeah, it was super important to us that this space really did.
Se sei molto bravo, i nemici non ti attaccano perché hanno paura di morire. Carino. 4 difficulty options are available to the player, affecting both combat and puzzle difficulty. Oh mamma mia, questa cosa non la vedevo quasi dai tempi di Silent Hill 2.
Feel like your reflection as a wizard. So you can change the architecture in here.
What?
Different themes throughout, starkly different themes, to really just hammer home that this is yours.
Oh my God! What? This is beautiful. We never expected that to be. Oh my God.
That's the thing, is not only can you change the architecture here, but you can actually conjure little objects into this space, as you can see. So there's like statues that you can do, and ornaments, and tables, and
maledetti cheater,
rugs, and just a bunch of little things that really flesh out the space and bring it to life.
Oh my goodness, because like we had an idea that those places where you brew stuff, that's where you can change, but you can do all of this. Where do you even get this stuff? Like, there's a furniture store?
Yeah, so we call them conjurations. And the conjuration recipes can be purchased at Tomes and Scrolls in Hogsmeade. But also, as you engage in different types of gameplay throughout the world, you'll be rewarded with different objects.
That's so cool.
Era partito male, nel senso che sembrava quasi il poter cambiare le pareti, il tetto e l'estetica generale, no? Come può succedere per esempio con la deliziosa feature dei Monster Hunter. Qui invece è dark cloudiana la situazione. Bello! Mi piace molto.
You change color?
Mm-hmm. You can change the color, you can change the size of it, and you can place it basically anywhere.
Oh my
Oddio!
God, it's so tiny. Just like for Baby Niffler.
And I love how the system too is designed. It's not mechanical; it's immersive, and so you get the magical effect of conjuring it in, and you're actually doing this in the world as your character, but the way you've blended like that gameplay with the immersive design of personalizing the space.
Oh my God, like, and I love the animation, how it like appears, you know, like it's not just like there, it's like, it almost like it apparates.
It is really quite beautiful, and that was the thing, is we wanted that to look really nice because the magic in the wizarding world is everywhere. It's physical, it's kinetic, and it's whimsical. We really wanted to nail that whimsy in this space.
Harry Potter non ha mai spiegato l'origine della magia, vero? O sì? Non credo.
Another thing that I wanted to discuss is that not only can you like conjure things and you can change their look, but you can do that with the utility objects as well. So you can see that we have planting pots and potion stations, and you can change the look of those as well. And these are the areas where, as we had mentioned previously, you'll be growing your plants, you'll be brewing your potions.
Right.
So while you're also doing these like kind of nurturing based activities, this is also the space where you would bring your gear to be identified, and gear to have like rates put on it, which I believe Alan can talk to.
Oh.
Yeah, we keep bringing up appearance and how it looks, and on a, in the game, you can look like anything you want to whenever you want to. But the player will be finding different types of gear, that we call it, as you progress through the game. And essentially, we just know that clothes and different items in the wizarding world can have different magical properties. And as you explore and as you adventure and as you defeat enemies, you're going to be finding different pieces of gear that have different abilities, and that can help you in your journey and are a major part of you kind of growing as a wizard and advancing as a wizard.
Oh,
and so
there's a huge list.
And not all the time, whenever you get a new piece of gear, you don't necessarily know exactly what it does. And so there is a station inside of the Room of Requirement that you can conjure. It's one of the first things you conjure, called an identification station, where you can actually bring that gear that you're uncertain about and learn what its abilities are.
Right, yeah, that's so cool.
And then as this space advances even further, and the space will eventually grow its own rooms, and you're going to get new recipes, like Mackenzie's talking about, all these different things keep expanding. And as it expands, eventually you're going to earn what we see here, which is called a loom. And when you set up a loom, it's an ability.
Beh sì, ragazzi, i capelli non sono qualcosa che il videogioco riesce a fare spesso bene quando non a livelli stellari di tecnica, ma non preoccupate, non importa.
To essentially customize exactly which magical properties are on your gear and take any piece of gear and adjust its properties and to tweak what it does. And I mentioned earlier that you can make anything look like anything. The collection of appearances, we call it, or cosmetics, we've been referring to it in this stream. Those types of things you can use, and you can apply a look to any other look. So if you get a piece of gear, you put it on, you look like that, but you can change it to look like whatever you want.
That's so cool. And like you can just put some ability to this sweater, but then you can just swap that ability.
Yep, and appearances you can edit whenever you want in the gear screen. The loom is specifically about applying traits and applying larger upgrades that just kind of grant you greater statistical advantage or give you really specific abilities that blend in nicely with where you're trying to go with your combat fantasy or talents and things like that.
Interesting. I'm just seeing that they're just like pumpkin fur, mooncalf fur. Where does that come from?
Yeah, and so you'll notice that the ingredients that are used to add traits and to upgrade your gear are based around beasts. So this is where we get into the beast care section, which is inside this vivario. Kind of bigger space on the inside idea. And so you can see here we have a couple of beasts out. We have a graphorn and a mooncalf and a niffler and a Kneazle as well. So quite a variety.
Oh my God, he's just like a big puppy.
They're so
they're cuddling. Oh my God, they're together. Oh, that's so cute.
They're adorable. And so part of beast care is petting them as well, but feeding them too. And so once you do those things, that's when they feel safe enough that they'll give you their magical ingredients. So mooncalf fur, niffler fur, etc. That can then be used in your gear.
That is like so like intuitive, because like you know that makes sense, because when you touch the animals you get some fur leftovers. That's so oh my God.
Yeah, and we really want to hammer home the fact that this is like a home that you're making for them. So in the Overland you can find these beast dens and rescue these beasts. Part of doing so is brushing them and feeding them food as well, and to build that relationship with your beasts. In addition to be able to care for beasts, you can actually conjure things in this space as well.
The house, the cottage.
Yeah, right. And so we have like a lot of little ornaments in this area, and a lot of them are purely cosmetic, but they look really cool. Again, it's the personalization of this space.
Oh my goodness, no, this is like, I'm gonna spend 8 hours just designing this whole area to personalize. This is like cool, it's like you have this little play area, like a personalized fish tank, so to say, just for the creatures. I love it.
Yeah, no, totally. And there's like a decoration aspect, but there's also, we were saying inside as well, is there's a utility aspect to it too. So as you progress in the game and you're able to purchase more conjurations, you're able to speed up your process. So one of them, for example, is the food processor, which allows for the beast in the space to automatically get feed, so you don't have to do it manually. And so you're really...
Quindi non è soltanto un minigioco. Io stavo osservando per capire se era il minigioco delle coccole nello screen inferiore dei giochi di Pokémon, no? Del 3DS, oppure, o comunque, come recentemente comunque l'hanno sempre messo da anche Let's Go, eccetera, o se aveva invece una componente gestionale. È un micro gestionale. L'EGP ha questi elementi.
Really building the progression for yourself here. In addition, there's also a toy box where you can play with your beasts. You'll see here, yeah. So you can, there's a bunch of toys in it, and each beast has their own favorite toy. So as you can imagine, the moon calf really likes the moon ball, or the Neasel, as like a little cat, really likes to chase the yarn ball as well.
Right.
And they're super cute.
Oh my God.
Watching them, it's so cute.
And the big thing we really wanted to hammer home is that the world is a dangerous place. And so by going and rescuing these beasts and bringing them back here and caring for them, you're really helping them out. There's poachers in the overland who hunt these beasts for their material. So instead, you're caring for them. You're giving them a home.
Right. Oh my God, this Graphorn is just gigantic. But he looks like my dog. We can't say my dog's right now for sure.
You could actually name them as well. So like your dog.
So getting back into that personalization, you know, yeah, we didn't want you to just like throw in, oh, here's a Graphorn in here. Like this can be named whatever Andrew's about to name them. Bruce.
That's a good name.
You know, we've created this really nice space, and you can get additional vivariums, correct, to different kind of aesthetics and looks to where you're keeping your beasts and caring for them.
Progression is a big part of this space as well. So as you progress through the story, you will unlock more vivariums. So as you can see, this one's quite meadow-themed, big, open, bright. But there's other ones, say like a swamp that you might encounter. And it's really a visual effect and more space for your beast.
Oh, so it's like those, so when we're inside the room requirement, there's like on the left, there's that moon glow from one entrance and then some shrubbery going on in the right. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Ah, oh, you put trees in here too. Oh my goodness.
And another thing with the beast care that I think is great, you know, tying back to this same kind of thing that you did with like the broom, where the broom is not just a method of travel, it's actually built in and integrated into the world. In the same way, like beast care isn't just this added element. You're not just throwing it on top. There's really this like narrative and integration to
everything connects. So as you progress through the missions, you'll expand the space. As you earn resources, you'll go into Hogsmeade and use them to unlock the gameplay here and unlock new conjurations and different things to play around with. In the open world, it's in those different environments, like the different combat and conflicts and bandit camps and different things like that exist in the overland. Those things are what hold recipes that exist in the loom. So all these things have a way of connecting. Moonstone that you find out in the world is the resource that we use to conjure everything. That's found throughout the world. Forageables are used for recipes. So really everything's like a cycle and keeps you coming back.
But even with the story that's being told too, I think people know who Poppy is and that she has a particular affinity for beasts.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything we're seeing here, you know, you're going to be venturing out into the world, and this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg, even of kind of like your interactions with beasts in that narrative. So, you know, you bringing up Poppy, there are more kind of mysteries to discover and things to discover.
Ci hanno messo molta roba
that have to do with her and that have to do with caring for beasts. And so different characters have their own stuff that just kind of make this all just kind of like the beginning of your journey.
Well, we could spend hours in here, but we're gonna have to end the stream now. What do you think about what you've seen today?
Oh,
I mean, I'm just so blown away by how beautiful it looks. The open world seems so detailed and there's so many things to do, and like the combat, we're gonna spend like 2 weeks or more just breaking it down by pieces. There's just so much to this world. Like, I'm so happy you guys did this overall gameplay.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've got more for you to discover and find on your own. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for...
Beh, allora, eccoci. c'era ancora una sorpresa finale.
For watching. Hogwarts Legacy is available for pre-order now. It releases February 10th with 72-hour early access for owners of the Collector's, Deluxe, and Digital Deluxe Edition. We're gonna wrap things up, but first we've got a little surprise for you. Bye.
Ah,
Surprise for you.
oh cavolo. Oh fuck. Ma sono le pagine che trovi nel mondo di gioco? Ok. Intrigante. Intrigante. Hanno mostrato veramente molto. E quello che percepisco è che è un gioco di massa in grado di poter attecchire su tanti gusti diversi. Non riesco a percepirlo come stellare, decisamente no. Però credo che comunque giocare in quel mondo sia veramente piacevole. Se sei un appassionato di Harry Potter, risuoni, cioè vibri. Oddio, non credo ci sia troppa roba, anzi, non è troppa roba. È un gioco che sicuramente sarà prolisso, nel senso che hai la mappa aperta, l'hub di gioco molto ampio, la trama, la gestione dell'equipaggiamento della stanza e di conseguenza dei materiali nello zoo, nella tua oasi per animali fantastici, e in generale il combat system. Non c'è altro. Ragazzi, non c'è altro. Non c'è tanta roba. Semplicemente è molto a 360 gradi. Ma quello che potrebbe esserci in più è minigioco di volo, una possibilità di side questing che non sia fetch e basta, ma che ti conduca a fare appunto diciamo attività di combattimento, puzzle e così via. Quindi in realtà mi ha convinto. Non sembra insufficiente o traditore delle aspettative. Credo che bisogna essere molto cauti con le aspettative. Sul dungeon crawling non lo so, Sirius. Dungeon crawling non l'ho visto. Cioè, all'interno di alcuni ambienti è vero che lui esplorava in zone buie o comunque in possibili labirinti, ma non è detto che ci sia dungeon crawling. Quello bisogna vedere. Il 15 probabilmente lo aggiungeranno come DLC, ci sta, sì, possibile. No, non includerà il 15. Ha detto il contrario, non includerà. Sarà comunque possibile partecipare a sfide a tempo ed esplorare il mondo a cavallo della propria scopa magica. Perfetto. Quello che un po' mi dispiacerebbe, ma lì è anche gusto, ok, è che si perda troppo in prolissi dialoghi campo e controcampo con 10, 15, 20 NPC a metro quadro. Perché lì potrebbe risultare proprio altalenante il ritmo. Ah, guarda che bello, parlano di Harry Potter, parlano del mondo di Harry Potter, parlano della magia. E dici, sì, vabbè, ma... Cioè, è giusto dare vita, respiro, dialogo, profondità, colore e magia all'ambiente, però deve avere ritmo. No, perché vai, esatto, perché è appassionato, questo gioco sembra veramente andare a nozze. Per chi non lo è, sembrerebbe valido. Cioè, non è una di quelle presentazioni che mi ha lasciato deluso come all'epoca Forspoken o tante recentemente. Comunque, cioè, molte presentazioni non sono state molto positive. Come la mia tosse. Lo proverò assolutamente quando... Cioè, avremo a che fare sicuramente con delle dirette dei contenuti a riguardo. Alla fine è carino che il combat system sia stato rivelato così chiaramente. Free flow al 100% con una certa preponderanza alla distanza. Il 25 Ci sarà la conferenza Xbox, io ci sarò, ma dall'estero. Sarò a un press tour segreto, parteciperò a un'anteprima e quindi mi porterò il portatile e farò la live dall'hotel. Signori, siete stati meravigliosi oggi. Mi avete esploso il sub goal che avevo messo tra l'altro anche per la live di stasera, quindi ok. Mi avete fatto partire altri hype train. Io spero, nonostante la mancanza di attenzione e qualche gaff causata dalla stanchezza, di avervi dato un servizio di approfondimento quantomeno sufficiente. Marco Ciale, Matte Farm, Common, Xandred, Bescia, il Bardo Fiammeggiante, Bunny Usagi, DC Niki, Harkan, Fosca, Fabio, grazie ancora, Begonia, End1703, Sangrelume, Common ancora, grazie, Unlucky Hero, Unknown Soul, Zaytrum, Lac 018051, Fandri, Ograx, Empathix, Andreone, Laurettone, Radat, grazie. Ci vediamo ragazzi. In SNM 4.0 queste live di approfondimento saranno più frequenti e più studiate, ok? Soprattutto non saranno inventate 2 ore prima senza ricerca. Infatti mi sarebbe piaciuto darvi la storia del free flow, ma non ero qui, non ero pronto. Serve preparazione, poi certo le informazioni te le salvi in testa e a quel punto la prossima volta le tiri fuori subito ed è il dovere di continuare a studiare qualunque sia appunto il tuo obiettivo, che il mio è a 360 gradi o comunque 340. Stasera non Convergence, Co-op Run, Mountain Tops of the Giants Ending. Buona cena ragazzi. Non so se c'è qualcuno a cui fare raid mentre aspettate la seconda diretta di stasera. Bisogna variare, no? Stavo per raidare Pregianza, come sempre, però il gatto è tantissimo tempo che non lo raidiamo. È tantissimo tempo che non lo raidiamo. Quindi let's go. Buona cena, ragazzi. Alla prossima. Semper Fi.